Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tomowa Adibanjo, and on my channel I talk about natural hair and everything in between. Today one of the in-betweens that I'm going to be talking about is some of my favorite African literature books. So if this is something you'd like to see, then please keep watching. Okay, so if you guys watched my intro video, which if you haven't, you should totally go and watch it so you know what to expect from me on my channel. You remember that I told you that I love to read. Now, one of my favorite categories of books to read is African literature. I live for African literature. I've loved African literature since I was a child. I vaguely remember reading Wole Soyinka's The Lion and the Jewel when I was about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old. My mom has a lot of these books lying around, so I used to read them when I was a child, and I fell in love with African literature pretty early in life. There's just something about knowing that the author, is Nigerian like you. I'm partial to Nigerian books, but then I also really love African books as well. Knowing that the author is Nigerian like you, lives or has lived in Nigeria or has experienced what it's like growing up around Nigerians, something about sharing the same roots that endears me to Nigerian books and African books in general. So today I'm here to share with you a couple of my favorite African literature books ever, and yeah, let's get right into it. This is in no particular order, okay? Number one is definitely Things Fall Apart. And my copy of Things Fall Apart is literally falling apart. My copy of this book is probably years old. It's about 30 years old. This copy in particular was printed in 1985. So this is 36 years old. And it's not really my copy. It belonged to my sister. And I obtained it from her because that's what younger sisters do. So I love Things Fall Apart. Number one, Chinua Achebe is my number one Nigerian author, or was my number one Nigerian author ever. Before, when he died, I felt I was despondent. It felt like my grandfather had died. I was very sad. I love this book. I feel like if the Nigerian passport were to be a book, it would be Things Fall Apart, because Things Fall Apart is like everybody needs to read it. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm just here to show you my favorite books. I'm not going to go into the stories, so I don't spoil it for you if you haven't read it. But number one is definitely Things Fall Apart. Number two, Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. Guys, this book it's dear to my soul. It doesn't take a lot to make me cry, but this book made me cry a lot, like a lot. I cried a lot, and I loved it so much that after reading it in soft copy, I had to buy the book. I wanted to be able to hold it physically, like to own it, to have a copy of it. That's how much I love this book. I love Stay With Me. If anybody asks me for book recommendations, African literature recommendations, the first book I always mention to them is Stay With Me, because it is just that good. It's a wonderful read. I highly recommend. Number three, I just got this one, and if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know that I have been ranting about this book, A Broken People's Playlist by Chimeka Garrix. Guys, this book, I never want to let this book out of my sight. I finished reading this book and I held it close to me. I held it on my body, or I had my hand on it for at least 5 hours, because I wanted to enter inside the book. It's not a novel. It's a collection of 12 different short stories that the author wrote. Even the story behind the book is so cool. It's so fascinating. I love the book. Now, Chimeka Garrix also has another book, Tomorrow Died Yesterday, and I am on the lookout for that one. That's going to be my next book purchase. But this one has like 12 stories, all inspired by different songs. So there's like a playlist. It's an actual playlist. There's an actual playlist for you. Every story has a song. It's actually titled after that particular song, so you can listen to the song and then try to figure out how the story came about, how the author wove the story based on that song. Now, this is the book that has made me cry the most in my entire life. I mean, I should have guessed when it literally says A Broken People's Playlist. That's like broken people. I should have guessed that, it was going to have a lot of sad stories, but I read it. The first story, guys, if you read this book, let me know what you think about the first story. 15 over 10. I recommend. Guys, I'm so proud of Nigerian authors. They're doing so. This book is amazing. Like, I need Mr. Chimeka Garrix to sign my copy. Please, just come and sign it. I love this book. I love it so much, and I'm sure that if you read it, you will love it as well. So yeah, that's number 3. Number 4 is Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I first read this book when I was in SS1. It was part of our literature requirements, and I didn't even it didn't even feel like it was a compulsory read. It didn't feel like anybody was forcing me to read it for school or anything. I loved it so much. This was what introduced me to Chimamanda Adichie. I love this book. I love Chimamanda. After this, in fact, all of her books should be on this list, but I'm just going to use this as like a representative of the other books. Is it Americana? Is it Half of a Yellow Sun? Is it Zikora? Guys, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is a fantastic writer. I love her. I love whatever she puts out, and this is my favorite book from her because it's the first book that I read, and I just grew very attached to it. So this is number 4. Number 5, Second Class Citizen by Buchi Emecheta. This is everybody's god aunt, everybody's favorite grandmother, and may her soul rest in peace. She was a fantastic woman. She was a role model to Nigerian women, especially those living abroad. Even if you're based in Nigeria, she's everybody's favorite auntie, Buchi Emecheta. And it's fantastic because this Second Class Citizen, it holds a special place in my heart because it was fashioned after her life. It's kind of like what she went through, and I also really love The Joys of Motherhood, but I can't find my copy, so I'm going to be sticking with Second Class Citizen on my list. I love this book. I loved Buchi. I still love her. Buchi Emecheta. I'm sad that she passed on, but I hope she's in heaven right now, smiling and at peace with the legacy that she left behind. So this is number 5. Number 6 is the Smart Money Tribe. This is another, it wasn't this particular one. Before this one, there was a Smart Money Woman. To actually support authors, you should buy their works. So I decided to buy the hard copy of this one. And yeah, this one is very dear to me because, I'm at that age where I want to prosper financially, where I want my finances to, grow, and I want to be able to afford the niceties of life. I want to be comfortable in life. I'm very big on finances, and this book it's a wonderful read for every young woman looking out to grow her portfolio. It inspires you to want to do better with money. It inspires you to plan for a future, and I recommend this to every young woman who has just begun to earn, or who is looking to grow her earning power. This book is fantastic. I love it. And it also helps that there's a character like me in the book. Now, I know you people are going to think that it is the lawyer babe. In case you have read it, you're going to think that it's the lawyer. But no, that's Adesua. But no, Adesua is not me. I am literally Zuri, the main character. Excuse me, this is my life, and I'm the main character of my life, okay? But yeah, I'm Zuri because, I said I didn't want to spoil it, but okay, if you don't want to see any spoilers, just skip to the next 20 minutes. Zuri was a spendthrift like me, and she needed a lot of help with her finances. She needed help too. I'm sorry the power just went out, but I'm glad I'm at the end of this video. I also have this book, When the Fog Lifts, that I'm really looking forward to reading. I haven't read it yet, but I just got it, and I will probably come back. If you guys like book reviews, if this is something you'd like me to do regularly, then please let me know. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment telling me which one of these books you have read or which one you're eager to read, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye bye.